Hello?
Yay!
Hello?
Hello, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
I only hear Stuart.
Are you kidding? Oh, let's Hope. Go ahead and say test.
Hi. Check. Can you hear me?
Oh,
Hey,
that
one,
is
two,
so
one,
weird.
two, one, two, one.
Okay.
And no
One,
Doug
two,
either.
one, two.
Okay, so let's go to your settings.
But we're live.
We are live. This is going to be.
Hello.
That's okay.
Heyo.
Heyo, everyone. You can see, and then on the settings for the output, try I don't know, setting. Don't
In
know what your
Safari?
computer looks.
Settings for this website?
No, it should be for the Google Hangouts at the top. Usually, there's a add a. Well, you probably don't have the invite. One of the mic, mute, video, camera, bandwidth use, and then settings. And so the settings is the one. If you click on that, there'll be one on the output. So the input is working great. We can hear you great, and it seems like the output. I don't know why that's not working, because you can hear me. That's the weird part.
That is weird.
That is weird.
Okay. Everyone agrees. That's weird.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how
Now
weird
I
is
don't
it?
hear
Doug, you go first.
anybody.
Oh, no.
Okay. Uh-oh. Better change that back. That
I
one
missed
didn't
that.
work.
Oh, Hope, by the way, I really like the picture on the front of your website, the backlit hair picture.
The crazy hair picture. Why, thank you.
That's great.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Your link will be in the as all of our viewers online will know. Your link will be in the
Yes.
comments section.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
In the links
Thanks,
section.
little promo.
Absolutely. All right. Oh, no, still not.
Nothing yet.
Nothing. You ain't seen nothing yet. Oh,
You look great, Victoria. I can see you.
You
can't hear us, and you can't
ain't
hear us
heard
saying
nothing
this.
yet.
We should put up a sign that says, "You look great, Victoria."
Yeah.
Oh, she went away. All right. Well, Hope.
Hey, here she comes again. She's coming again.
Okay. Hopefully this time.
Anything?
Oh, I hear you,
Anything?
Stuart.
Oh,
Can you hear me? Can
But
you
I
hear
don't hear
me?
anybody else.
Oh, that is so weird.
So weird.
That has never happened. But
That
we've
it has
had all
never
the other
happened.
things
Okay,
happen
well,
before. But
Victoria, you win the
You
award
just
for
have to
the
let me know
hasn't
if I
happened
repeat
before.
anybody else's story. They'd be like, yeah, Hope just said that.
I don't know how to. I don't know. I'm afraid if I try anything else, it's going to mess up the audio. So I don't know what else to.
Yeah,
Is there a
I
chat
tried messing with
function?
the settings, and then I couldn't hear anybody,
Yeah.
and so I don't know what other settings.
Yeah. So you went to the settings, and
Yeah.
there's two settings, right? One is the input, and one is the input for your mic, and the other.
Is this in system preferences?
No, it would be under settings in the Google Hangout. So if you go to the Google Hangout and go to settings there.
The little wheel.
Yeah, the little wheel.
up at
But do
the
you have a
top.
Mac or PC, by the way?
It's a Mac.
Awesome.
Right, or the
Oh,
quick-
good. Then we can at least it's on the same page. And then under settings, there'll be the top one is the camera. The second one is the mic input, and the third one is the output.
So
And
default speakers or built-in output.
try built-in output. See if that works or not. I don't know, but you may not.
Hey.
Hey, 1, 2.
Any change?
1, 2.
Change.
Change.
Changes.
I don't know the other words.
You don't need to know the words. You can make it up as you go.
Oh, you guys, see, you and Doug should have. You should invite Doug to Prompt Queens.
I shouldn't. Oh my gosh. Hey Doug, how is your songwriting chops these days, buddy? You want to come on? Prompt Queens?
Oh, absolutely. I don't know what that is,
We
though.
could write her the questions and she could respond. Sure. I just saw the chat.
Right?
That works.
We could do a little simulcast.
Yeah, but you could actually, there is another way. You could go to the broadcasts, Victoria, but it would drive you nuts because it's
Oh, they
delayed.
have a delay.
Oh, and it would just be horrible. I don't know what to
Sorry
do.
about that. I don't know.
I
At
will.
least I can hear you.
Yeah, you can hear me talking
Yeah,
to
right.
everybody. Wow. Hey, Hope, what is that you have? That looks really tasty.
Oh, this is
Yeah.
a gin and tonic.
Oh, is it really?
Wait, let me type it for. I'm going to type it for Victoria.
Victoria, that was a gin and tonic you saw. Hope. Yeah.
5 o'clock
Okay,
somewhere,
you know
right?
what? We
Yeah,
can
right.
go with this, and hopefully, and maybe it will improve. Who knows? But let's just try it. Okay,
Okay.
here we go. Give me the pause here because
All right.
I have to introduce it, even though we've been broadcasting for about 10 minutes. All right, here we go. Aloha, patrons and listeners. This is Stuart Yoshida, host of the OokTown Podcast, where we talk about all things ukulele. Those of you who have already joined can testify to the technical difficulty we've been having, and that's okay because that's what live broadcasting is about. On the show, we have some great guests, and I will be introducing them momentarily. But first, let me give some shout outs. I want to give a big shout out to Swallow Hill for last month hosting the OokTown Podcast at the 12th annual Denver Youth Fest, especially Lindsay Corbin for the hard work and all the folks there at Swallow Hill. They always make it great for us. I really appreciate what they do. And the food was great. The accommodations were great. So thanks so much. Mahalo. Big mahalos to them. Second, congrats to 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 ukulele players who won at the Nahoku Hanohano Awards in Hawaii. And the Nahoku Hanohano Awards are probably the closest thing in Hawaii to the Grammy Awards, I would say. Would you agree with that, Victoria, since you kind of have been there?
Yeah,
Anyway.
I know of them, and yeah, it's a big deal.
It's a big deal, and it's a big deal that 3 ukulele players won in different categories. Herb Ota Jr. for Instrumental Album of the Year, Chris Fujigami for Instrumental Composition of the Year, Life is a composition, and Taimani for Performer of the Year in Hawaii. Wow.
Wow.
Yay. All right.
Yay.
So let's now bring on our guest, Victoria Vox from SoCal.
Hello.
And she just recently made the cover of the UK's Uke Mag.
All
Another cover
right.
girl. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah, congratulations
Like I
on
have it
that.
somewhere.
And your newest album is Colorful Heart. And as always, that's going to be linked into the show notes.
Oh, thanks.
Welcome, Victoria. And next up, I want to bring on another guest that has been with us. Boy, it has been a long while, hasn't it? It's Hope Dunbar.
That's been a long while.
Yeah, Prompt Queens is her podcast. 3 Black Crows is her latest CD. And she, I first met her through Star Bell. So I don't know how long ago that was, 5 or 6 years ago at the Denver Youth Fest.
Longer than
Yeah,
that,
at
I
least.
think.
Longer than that, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a great year. Yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed.
That was a great year. You know who you should tell that was a great year? Swallow Hill.
Yeah.
So remember that Star Bell? They're pretty good.
I have told them that.
You know, if you guys are still performing, you know, just we can drop a note to Lindsay or whoever, and you never know. You never know.
Well, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it's great to have you back. We've been trying to get you back on for I don't know how long. It's just one thing or another that just didn't quite line up. The stars didn't line up, and now they have. And since Doug has to leave in a little over half an hour, we want to start with. We're going out of order on our topics today.
Oh, you're not going to introduce the guy that you're just going to slide over that. That's okay. That's okay because as a co-host, I'm all right with that. I'm just here to support you, Stuart.
And my co-host, Doug Brown. Let's bring on Doug.
Yay!
Yay, Doug.
How's it going?
Yeah, it's going great. It's hot here in Colorado. It was really nice weather up until like 2 or 3 days ago. And then, wow, the heat just descended onto us. Of course, you know, Hope, you're probably like, with the little violin going, yeah, and I'm in Utica, Nebraska. So
Yeah, it's blistering hot here.
yeah, and I know it's humid too. So that's what the killer is. Anyway, but let's bring Doug, so he can talk about. Let's talk road trips.
Road trips.
All right, and this does not just apply to Doug. I want to see, where have you been traveling with your ukulele lately? And what'd you hear? What'd you experience? Doug, you wanted to kick this one off, which is great. So start it off.
Yeah, so the last 3 weeks have been awesome in terms of ukulele playing for me, because we had our the Denver Ute community meeting the third Saturday of the month, and we had vocalization songs. So we did the doo-wah ditties and the shoo-lang da bang dang songs.
Oops, Doug. You know what? I did the classic mistake. I think it's okay though. You know what? I'm going to grab the first part from the podcast or the YouTube. I did the rookie mistake of forgetting to hit the record button. I was so distracted with the other issues. Oh, that's so what do you want to call it? Freshman mistake. Anyway, what do you guys want to do? We just want to keep going, or do you want to? Because I can always grab the first part from the podcast. Yeah, we'll keep going.
I think you can edit it together, and that'll be pretty good.
Go for it. So you were saying road trip.
So the third Saturday of the month in June, we went and had our regular Denver Ute community meeting, and that was super awesome. And then I went out to Washington, D.C., and before I left, I said, hey, I wonder if there are any ukulele clubs out in Washington, D.C., and lo and behold, there was. And so that... can you guys see the picture of me at the? And
I don't. You're
no, I see a screenshot. I see a screenshot.
Yeah, so there's me.
No, that's
that's an itinerary.
That's your message page, your email page.
Oh, it's the other screen. Let's do
the other screen. Yes.
How about
seeing
this?
all the juicy email?
Oh, there we go.
There.
Yeah,
I missed it. Oh,
yeah.
No,
look at that.
Oh,
look at the bottom there.
There's Tabby Brown, and there's the rest of the DC strummers. So,
all right.
Yeah, it was super fun, and we had a great time.
And did they know you? Because they should know who you are.
They didn't. They are not fans of the OokTown podcast, although they may now be.
Yeah, did you change them? Did you say you're going to mention them on the next podcast? That usually gets them to listen.
I did. So, but was super fun. 2 hours of playing in the park down by the water, and Air Force One, or not Air Force One, but Marine One, which is the helicopter.
Yeah,
flying by, and
wow.
Wow.
Yeah, it was, and horns, boat horns, like going, and so. It was interesting. I have never had an experience quite like that, but yeah, super fun, and really a great group out there. So one of the things that I would suggest is when you're getting ready to go on your summer trips, go ahead and say, oh, I wonder if there's a uke club out in Oregon or Florida or wherever it is that you're going, because it's really it's so neat.
Yeah,
it is, and I cannot encourage that enough, because a friend of mine, and Victoria, by the way, will be joining us on a different computer, so she's going to try that. If you're wherever you're going over, even into Europe, there are ukulele clubs in Paris, all over the UK.
Ukulele Wednesdays.
Yes, yeah, Ukulele Wednesdays there.
Where's that? Where are Ukulele Wednesdays?
London, all over London, actually.
Deal. I'll be there.
Okay. Well, where have you been?
What day is it today?
So
I can make it there by Wednesday.
By
Tuesday?
Wednesday,
I don't know.
you might.
Maybe.
You've been like road tripping a lot with your songwriting. It seems
Oh
like
yeah.
I kind of follow that off and on. How's
Yeah.
that been? What's been going on there?
It's been great. So, like you said, we all met first through my band, Starbell Ukulele Band, but I've been focusing a lot more on my solo career over the last 3 years. So that's kind of taken a front seat. Starbell's still there. We still play together. In
Oh, is that
fact,
right?
we just got back from Minnesota yesterday, where we
Really?
played. We did some ukulele workshops and we put on a concert at a local library up by Rochester, Minnesota. So the three of us girls were back at it again in the car, driving, playing songs. It was so much fun.
Wow. One of you has moved away,
Yep.
like to California. Where's?
No. She's in Greeley, Colorado.
Oh.
No way.
Yeah.
That's just
Yeah.
down the road from us.
I know. So it gets us a little closer to Colorado, which, it's very close to our hearts as far as ukulele playing is concerned.
Yeah.
So we kept thinking,
Well,
well, we're going to
Greeley is
expand.
like an hour away from Denver. Well,
Yeah,
actually, it's
totally.
closer than that. So yeah, she
Yeah.
could always say hello to Doug in Fort Collins. So that's like 30 minutes,
For
40
sure.
minutes away.
If
Yeah.
anybody was interested in going to Rochester,
Oh, look at
it's
you.
right there in Minnesota, right? I think, yeah.
Minnesota.
Oh, it's right there.
Minnesota.
I mean, home of the Mayo Clinic, but you don't have to seek medical advice to go there. It's very beautiful. You can go on your own and
Really?
not even
In
step foot
Minnesota?
in Mayo
Wait,
Clinic.
no, Mayo in oh, I didn't know.
Mayo.
You can just
Rochester,
get
Minnesota.
mayo.
Oh,
You can just get mayo
can
at the grocery store. You
Yeah.
don't have to
Right,
go to
no need to go to
for that.
Minnesota. Oh, Doug, I've missed you, friend.
See?
Your corny jokes.
That's why you need him on the show. And
That's why you need him on the show.
you know what I wanted to have you play for us, but
Yeah.
I know you don't have the mic set up. It was that I call it the Caribbean, or the what do I want to say? Why am I having a blank? I should have written this down, but it was
No, why would you write it down? That's silly.
because I knew I would forget it. It was one of the songs that you made up or wrote on the fly, and it was about down in Florida or somewhere. So I was thinking of
A song I wrote about going down to Florida.
Oh.
I wasn't planning on playing that one today.
No, that's all right, because I can't even.
Mostly because I can't even remember that I wrote that one.
It was on the Prompt Queens. Oh my goodness.
By the way, could we take an aside here and tell me all about Prompt Queens?
Oh, you betcha. So I host my own podcast, or co-host my own podcast with my sister-in-law, Emily Dunbar. Together, we are Prompt Queens. And Prompt Queens is a songwriting podcast where every week we get a new prompt. We write a new song to that prompt. We go on the air. We record our episode. Neither of us have heard the other person's song to the prompt. We play them for them during the episode. No do-overs, no perfection. It's going to be warts and all. We're working on first draft songwriting. And then we kind of talk about what it was like, what the creative process was like. We kind of make fun of stuff, goof around.
Oh,
that's very awesome.
I am going to sign
It
up
was
for
the
that
Jimmy
podcast.
Buffett inspired type song. Does that?
Oh, sure.
You know the one I'm talking about now?
I remember Jimmy Buffett. I remember that Emily did one about
Maybe it was Emily
putting her ass in the sand.
I don't know if that was it, but it was, oh, son of a gun. I should have just, done more research. I was thinking, oh, you'd know this one right off the top of your head, but no.
That's
you probably
fine.
have a few. That's okay. Let's move on.
That's okay.
All right.
Yeah, let's move on.
Can you guys see or hear me?
Yes, we can
Yes.
see you.
Yay!
Yay.
Yay!
Okay, I changed computers. I'm still on a Mac, but it's a different Mac.
Okay.
Can you hear us?
But I can hear
Can you
everything
hear
that's
us?
going on, so I'm less frustrated.
Yay!
Wow, this show is we're going to call it the technical difficulty show, unless someone comes up with a better name for it. And so usually Doug, but although in this case, Hope, you're probably pretty good at this too with coming up with titles. This might be the technical difficulty show because this has
been stressful.
It's been challenging. All right, where were we? So I don't know.
I got an idea. I got an idea.
Okay.
What if we call it from the flight deck, we're experiencing a little turbulence.
Okay.
This is your captain from the flight deck. I think it's going to last about 20 minutes, but then we got clear sailing, real nice, smooth sky. We just got a little bit of turbulence over the Rockies. Now we're good.
Oh, yeah.
Totally lost, but we're making great time.
Now we're fine. So. We're making great time.
Right. Don't they always say that? Yeah, you could be a co-pilot or pilot, Hope.
No, I don't think that's a good idea.
No, okay. Wouldn't want to put you in control of a plane, is what you're saying. All right. Road trips, though. Did you talk about road trips yet? We were talking a little. You wanted to go to the UK because of the Ukulele Wednesday.
I just got back from Minnesota with Star Bell. We played some ukulele band shows. That was great. Before that, it was Texas. It was Minnesota, Wisconsin, Chicago. Before that, it was it's all kind of a blur, but it's been a very busy winter into spring. And now I'm home for a little bit, and I'm very thankful that I got about 6 weeks home before I got to go back out again.
Oh, wow. You got wow. You already have gigs lined up and everything?
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Good times.
Great times. All right. Victoria, you're also the traveling woman.
What's going on?
Can you hear us? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Stuart, but that's it. I don't know. It was weird. I could hear.
Oh no.
Wait. Oh, you're back.
Yeah, I don't know. I could hear Hope and Doug before, and now I don't.
Oh, you're kidding.
And I only hear you again.
Oh, man.
I was hearing them before, but then it was when my video wasn't working, which was fine, but I don't think you could hear me, but I could hear you.
Okay.
It's a very one-way relationship.
Wow, this does. We got to get this Mac.
Like a girl I dated in high school.
Oh,
come on.
We didn't hear that one either, Victoria, but Doug made a comment. Made a joke. That was
yeah, I just feel like I can't be a part of the conversation.
I know this is frustrating. All right, but tell us about your road trips, and everyone can. You came to Colorado. I know that. I saw you there.
Yeah. I don't know.
Were you in Europe recently?
I was there in this October.
Okay.
So that was like not super recent. Going back in this September, October again.
No, really? Back to Europe.
I don't know. I just feel really discombobulated because I haven't really heard any of the conversation.
I know it's.
So it's just like, well, what do you want to know?
I'm going to focus on you, though. This is all about you right now, Victoria, because we love you, and it's okay that you can only hear me, because we're going to do our best. And this is, did you hear the part where either we're going to call it a little turbulence or the technical difficulty show?
Difficulties show.
Maybe both. A little turbulence, the technical difficulty show. Let's see. So
I'm traveling basically. I think like in the month of May, I was home for maybe 5 days.
Wow.
So that was my May, and it was a really tough May because of allergies. And it wasn't until I kind of just bit the bullet and decided I was driving to Las Cruces Ukulele Festival.
Yeah.
And I got everything cleared up after Denver, came back to Southern California. I'm fine. Start driving. I hit Phoenix. I pulled over at the nearest Walgreens, and I was just like,
Benadryl.
Benadryl, like eye drops, like, and I did like Kleenex, and I mean, it was basically like heavily self-medicating. And then, yeah. So that was, my May was pretty tough on the road physically, that in that sense.
Allergies just like wear you out, and I can tell you that right now I'm suffering right there. So flow.
Well, as a singer, like if I was just a ukulele player, allergies really wouldn't matter. I mean, other than just like you kind of feel stuffed up in the head, but it doesn't affect your playing. But when you're singing and mouth trumpeting, it's it's just kind of, I was a little. It's a little scary because one, it's like you don't really want to be singing when you're, I wouldn't even say sick. I thought it was sick, but it wasn't. I wasn't sick. But then even just with having to sing through that stuff and pushing vocally in a way that I normally wouldn't. I wouldn't say it's necessarily a healthy thing to do.
No.
So it's definitely a little. It's just kind of like, is it worth this push? I don't know. And I just always do. And I just pray for the day that, just that I just keep waking up and my voice is there.
Yes. Well, that is.
Because that could happen to anybody of just one day your voice is gone.
Well, and I think of like, what if I broke my wrist or something and I was an ukulele, and that was, kind of the same thing. It's like, well, what am I going to do? That's
my friend Nova in Seattle just broke her wrist, and she's an she's a gigging accordion player.
Oh no!
And so they did a GoFundMe for her, and so she's good. That takes the edge off, and she can do her physical therapy, which takes 3 to 5 hours a day with travel time and the exercises and the rubbing and the she is like doing it to a T and ensuring that for the swiftest and healthiest recovery, so that they don't have to do another surgery or
Oh geez. Yeah, and when that's your bread and butter, and you have to pay for medical expenses, that is like a double whammy. We need to boy, it would be nice to be able to solve that problem too.
Maybe mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise. Okay, so you can hear Doug. So I don't know if you're missing out or not with Doug, but he said something about what? What about mayonnaise?
The mayonnaise.
Mayo Clinic.
Yeah.
All right. Reference to the Mayo Clinic. Victoria, you're gonna have to go back and listen to this podcast, and then it'll fill in all the.
Apparently, Hope just group chatted that I'm not missing out on any of Doug's corny jokes.
Sorry, Doug.
We're gonna have to. We'll text you. We'll be texting you so you know what's going on. Wow.
Yeah, I did try listening in through the YouTube, but it's like I would say 15 to 20 second delay.
Yes.
That's hard.
So it's hard.
I cannot think of any other really good way. I mean, if I'd known this in advance, I could have you could have dialed in to the phone, but never mind. Don't even try that. Don't even think about it. No.
It's all right.
We're going forward, onward.
I don't know if that satisfies road trip. I don't know, road trip story. There's I don't know. I guess I've been on the road since 2003. So it's like, what do you want to know? You want to know where I've slept, where I've eaten, weird people I've met?
Any interesting ukulele music? Like any of those road trips? Okay, this goes to. Let's start with you, Victoria. Then you're gonna. I'm gonna let Hope, and then maybe she can text you some of the highlights. But anyway,
totally.
Any travel that you have that's inspired songs, like there's "Take It Easy" from the Eagles, and actually see, this is like I'm having a memory lapse, but the co-writer for "Take It Easy," Jackson Brown. Good grief. Yes, Take It Easy, because it was inspired by, which is interesting. So here's the confusing story. So first there was one story, Winslow, Arizona, right? That's where he got inspired. Well, so then there was another one where it was actually in Flagstaff, Arizona, and then it was both, because then now it turns out that his car broke down in Flagstaff, Arizona, and he saw the woman in the pickup truck in Winslow, or vice versa. I don't know. And my real point is
Sounds messy.
Yeah.
any road trips that have inspired songs lately? Anything?
They all basically all do.
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
from
I
Colorful Heart.
love
What's the...
Colorful Heart. I mean, Only Time Will Tell, which I played on live one of these podcasts.
Yes,
That was, I wrote that sitting on the floor in an airport in Australia.
Wow. See, I would have never guessed that, because it
I'm trying
doesn't.
to think of what else. Let's see. Out on the Rails, it wasn't necessarily like on a road, but I was in Wisconsin. But that song was written for a documentary film about a hobo. And then let's see. I don't know if anything from that was actually like written on the road, but I'd say like more recently, like all like my new stuff. Jack and I've been writing on the road. I've been writing on a road. I wrote one last summer. I called it On My 5,000 Mile Wild West tour.
Wow.
Basically going from Southern California to the Uke in Bend, and then down through to the Durango Uke Fest, up to Boulder for a house concert, and then back through Arizona. And so I wrote a song for my dad called I'll Remember You for Dad.
Oh,
And
nice.
basically cried the whole trip. And
passed
it
away
was the first
recently,
time
is
I was
that right?
really, it was 3 years ago, but it was
Okay.
kind of the first time I was alone. And I think that's the thing. It's like, for me, writing, I do collaborate a lot, and I do songwriting events. There's 3 a year that I participate in on and off, depending on my schedule, but that's all song co-writing. But otherwise, a lot of times it just takes, there's so much, unfortunately, there's so many things to do in the day. It's really kind of like carving time away for songwriting. And for me, I really have to like be alone to like sit in my thoughts or sit in my feelings, play, mess around with the instrument. And unfortunately, like most of the time that I'm alone is when I'm in the car. And so
that makes sense.
We all know that I used to play ukulele and drive at the same time. I don't really do that anymore.
Won't even mention that.
If you've seen the Mighty Uke video, I've got Don't You Can Drive keychains.
Oh, good. Uh-oh, we're losing video.
See those, the screen's frozen.
Oh,
You
nice.
can drive.
Very
You
good.
can drive. So, done, but now mostly I just tap a beat on the wheel, and those songs just come out. And so the one, I just wrote one, I don't know, like 2 weeks ago, and we're working on it with Jack and the Vox, but it's actually a custom song for a Kickstarter campaign that I did a couple years ago.
Oh.
And it's for a fan, and the husband said, I want you to write a song called Angela for my wife. And I was driving up to LA just for a conference, like an evening, like Berkeley alumni get together. And I just started singing in the car and had 2 verses of Angela written by the time I got home. And that was it.
Cool.
Added a 3rd verse a little later, driving. And I can sing and no one can hear me, and I can make lots of mistakes and try different things. And, so yeah, but a lot of the tunes, Jack and I wrote a really great song called Land's End when we drove in a minivan, driving things from my mom's house in Wisconsin to our new place here in Southern California. And had the little Martin ukulele up front and bringing it out this way. And
very cool.
Yeah, so we've written, in the van. He can drive, I'll play.
Yeah, that's much
usually
safer,
I
I
get
think.
frustrated when I'm driving and then he's playing. He's a guitar player and I get really frustrated with his ukulele playing. So I'm like, I'm pulling over. I'm gonna play the ukulele.
Well, let's bring in Hope Dunbar. Hope, and I know you can't hear her, so maybe Hope you
I'll
can.
try to read lips.
Doug will transcribe. No, I don't know what's gonna happen. Doug is gonna do sign language.
Yeah,
Is that
right.
Yeah.
Doug.
I would take care. Nice, thank you. All right, this is weird. It's like almost like it's a disability. I don't know if it's even
Well, I didn't
word.
want this to come out the wrong way, but I'm like, I feel like Mandy Harvey.
Okay, I don't know that reference. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Oh, she's sponsored by Kala, but she was on America's Got Talent and
Oh yeah, she's deaf.
apparently is deaf. But
Oh,
is a singer.
right.
Deaf, right?
Right. Yes, it is
I
like
don't
that.
know, but she's received a lot of crap from people about reading lips and getting death threats from the deaf community.
What?
Because she's a lip reader and doesn't learn sign language, so apparently she's learning sign language. I don't know. I really can't.
That is
I really
terrible.
can't say a lot on this subject, but I'll just say I feel kind of like Mandy Harvey right now. If I have to
Okay,
read
I
lips.
got it. That's a.
But apparently, there's only like 5 or 6 deaf musicians.
Yeah.
Ever, and so I kind of feel like it would, it's kind of like almost being Jesus.
Yeah. All right. So
and so you didn't know about her.
I didn't. No, I know now. I mean, I remember
Now I
now.
remember.
Yes. So now we remember, and I do. She was amazing because she sang so well on pitch, and then you're just like, she's deaf.
But it's like,
anyway.
how deaf are you? Because you can be legally blind and still kind of see.
Right.
And you can be deaf and still kind of hear.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was only for her doctors to say, which we'll probably never see we'll never see the
results.
results.
All right. All right.
Horrible.
So now speaking of lip reading, you're gonna have to read Hope's lips. All right. But
yeah.
Songwriting. Yes,
Songwriting.
for you. Yes.
So like Victoria, I do write a lot when I'm traveling. So I do write a lot in the car, but I don't have very many songs that are directly inspired by being on the road.
Oh, right. You're right. No, and I guess that's a good point is that, for Victoria, it was more of a space to write songs, which I didn't think of, so that's totally.
Yeah. Hold on, I'm writing. The road.
Doug's doing that too, so we're all helping out.
Oh yeah, right. I'll help.
Okay, now you're gonna have to tell Victoria what you're drinking. Is that really G&T?
Yeah.
Oh man, with lemon in it?
Lime.
Whoa! Not even lemon. It's a lime.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
You put the lime in the coconut. You drink
and you shake them both up, right? So I write a lot of songs because of the podcast.
Queens, really?
Yeah, I write a song a week for the podcast.
Oh, wow.
Those aren't all keepers, but those are like practice songs.
Yeah. Wow. See, this is giving me good ideas because I've got a little bit of writer's block.
Really?
Right now. Yeah. I'm
You should listen to Prompt Queens because
I do. It just gets me frustrated because you guys keep pumping out songs every week. I go, how do they do that? And I think it is just, doing the discipline of it. So I decided to, anyway, keep going. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go.
So very similar to Victoria, when I'm driving, I'm listening, I'm making up rhythms. I'm practicing stuff because I'm by myself in the car and I can try new things. My writing style is that I don't typically pick up an instrument at first. I usually kind of start working it out in my head without an instrument in my hand. And then when I'm about halfway done, then I pick up an instrument.
Really? So is it lyrics and music you have in your head? Really? Oh man, that's a gift. It's like the Beethoven thing, because he used to, wasn't he deaf or something, and
yeah,
do
but
the whole no.
Yeah,
I mean, I gotta have an instrument when I'm doing music, more or less. Otherwise I can hear things, but I don't think I'd ever be able to translate it. So wow, that's pretty.
So the
wild.
title for this one will be, "Was that person deaf?"
Yeah, no, but so with my songwriting, my songwriting's very like lyrics driven. So I always feel like I don't have great musical chops by any means. I'm using my instrument as like coloring for the story I'm telling. So I don't mind not having an instrument in my hand, because I'm really lyrics focused or like story driven.
Yeah. And I suck at lyrics, I believe.
I disagree. That can't be true.
You've never seen the songs.
Ever heard Prince's lyrics?
That's true.
Yeah.
I love Prince, but sometimes I think he gets away with a lot lyrically.
Right.
Yeah.
Lyrics can be optional in a great song.
Yeah, that's true. All right. You're right. However, I do, I guess when I did a long time ago, I got some lyrics and I said, hey, these are great. Well, actually, it was someone's poems. And I said, these are great poems. Can I put music to it? And it was kind of fun, because they weren't really at first necessarily structured for a song, right? Because as a songwriter, you at least know, you're going to do a verse, chorus, maybe a bridge, verse, chorus, and so forth. Yeah. And then there's a certain structure to it you understand. And her poems were completely just, let me write a poem about this topic.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Wow. So since we talked a little bit about it, let's talk about. Although I do want to talk about expanding listenership too. Cures for writer's block. So we're going to go back. Well, let's start with you again, Hope, and then we'll hop over to Victoria. Okay, so Victoria, we're going to...
Cures for writer's block?
Yes. Get your
G&T.
fingers ready, Doug.
Yeah, man. Okay. Cures for... Well, so I host a podcast about songwriting, right? Right. First of all, gin and tonic. Second of all, I host a podcast for songwriters.
That doesn't help me, because I listen to it and I get intimidated. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. But I guess what I would say is what we are trying to practice is the idea that the well never runs dry. Like there's inspiration everywhere.
Yes.
If you give yourself permission to write a really terrible song, you can just write through the writer's block.
Okay. So it's kind of like just, chop wood, carry water, just do it.
Yeah. Just keep writing songs.
Okay. So what I was
terrible.
for whatever reason, instead of doing that, here, I'll put this up here. So, and by the way, Doug, how's yours coming along?
It is exactly at the spot that it was 2 weeks ago.
What is that?
That is a guitar pedal. It's a classic overdrive. It's a clone. Okay, I know that, Hope, you're not a gear person, because we had you on the show a while ago. And
I remember that. You put me on a gear show.
I know.
And I was like...
LR Bigs or Bags. I don't know what this pickup is. I'm like, what? You got an LR Bags pickup? It's like, yeah.
You put me on a gear show once.
Sorry. Anyway,
it was really funny though.
It was so this is an overdrive pedal. It's a clone of what's called a tube screamer from Ibanez, and everyone says, oh, they're the classic overdrive. So Doug and I decided to do that, and then I did the graphics on there. That's the Silver Surfer.
Wow, cool.
For those of you, and
I like the knob placement.
Yeah, well, the knob placement, I did not have any choice. Sorry. All right. No making fun of the knob
Oh,
placement.
sure.
But
That's what they all say.
all right. I think you can see everyone laughing, right, Victoria? All right. My point is, how come there's always the guest always abuse the host? This happened a few episodes ago too. It was I think Doug and Gerald Ross, and I was trying to talk about singing Brandy, and boy, did I get a lot of
Brandy, you're a fine girl, but a good wife you would be.
Exactly.
I love that song.
And and they were giving me a hard time, and I can't remember why, but you got it's a few episodes ago. Doug, I'm sure you will bring that up, and we'll put a link in the show notes. All right. So back to Victoria. Tell us some of your things for writer's block.
Usually it's just kind of like filling the well. I think Hope said something, or at least Doug typed something about the well never running dry. And there's a great song by Gillian Welch called One Little Song, and it's basically says there's got to be a song left to sing. Everybody can have thunk of everything, and there's always the ideas are plentiful and limitless.
Yes.
And
okay.
So there's always going to be a new idea, a new way to say something, a new way to look at something, and we all are roughly saying the same kind of things as humans, but there's always just a little different way that we can make it our own. So instead of comparing to things that I'm doing to others, I try not to, I kind of tune out, so that I can really focus on what I'm doing, and what I'm feeling, for it to be, completely genuine, I think.
Yeah.
But, filling the well of whether maybe it's just reading a book or watching a movie or going to an antique store or just going out for coffee, hanging out at a coffee shop and just people watching, or, but a lot of times for me, honestly, it's the taking the time to just do it, like putting the pen to paper and just saying, okay, for an hour, I might not be writing anything right now, but all of that, the time that you put in, that work that you put into writing something is work. And it is, and it's not lost.
Yeah.
It's not wasted time.
Kind of trust the process.
Even if you don't come out with a product that day, because whatever it is you had mulling around in your head one day could also come out the next week or the next month, and be like, oh, that's what that subconscious idea was. And so I don't know. I think being patient and accepting kind of like writer's block, and just being like, well, maybe I'm just not feeling it right now, and I don't get down about it, because it comes in waves, I find, and it has to do with how much time you have available and just what your focus is.
Yeah.
Well, but I use so I am a bit of a gearhead, so I like the pedals and the knobs.
All right, so you have to try this out next time you're out here. It's actually pretty sweet sounding. So Doug, you'll be happy when you get it done.
But I use a loop pedal, and so sometimes it's just a matter of if I come up with maybe a riff that I don't know what I'm singing over yet, and I don't but I'm like, oh, that's a really cool riff. I'll lay down that riff and record it, and I will just let it play for hours. I'll go do chores around the house, email, and that loop is just going, that riff or chord progression, and eventually I'll start singing something to it. And I think taking the instrument away from, it's just like we play an instrument, we can sing and we write that way, but I think as writers we probably fall into tendencies of coming in after a certain strum. We always kind of come in melodically, rhythmically at the same place. So I really am able to like, you know, conduct it out and be like, okay, where's my melody coming in? What note am I singing? How can I make these parts different over a loop where say the song is only 2 chords? I want to do, there's a lot of, we just moved. So there's been a lot of going on, but I want to do some videos coming up of current 2-chord jam songs. A lot of the great pop music coming out today are 2 chords.
Yeah.
2 chords, like the new Taylor Swift song of the Pride song. What's that? You'll never.
So like you need to calm down.
2 chords. The entire song is 2 chords, and it's very well constructed.
Yeah.
And there's a guy named Caleb Hawley that has a 2-chord song called I Choose that I love. And there's a French artist named Christine the Queens who has a hit song with 2 chords. And it's just like there's all these really great contemporary 2-chord songs. And
interesting. I didn't know that.
So I'd like to do that where I do the loop pedal and kind of, you know, but it's all just like you can jam along. It is here we're playing.
I'm going to shoot for 3 chords because that
and there's 3
wow,
chords.
That's awesome.
Doing 4 chords that just repeat over and over again. But I think it's really something when you can take a 2-chord song and make it sound like there's more going on.
Oh, absolutely. That's
so
the
also
challenge.
I guess part of the writer's block is I challenge myself to something like that where I say, okay, I'm going to write a 2-chord song, or I'm going to write a 1-chord song, or I'm going to write a song in 5/4 time, or 6/8, or 7/4. Yeah. And it's more of just about kind of keeping the gears turning, and it doesn't have to be anything great.
Yeah.
I don't have to publish it to the world, you know, but it's just staying, you know, present and trying new things.
Cool. It's the top of the hour, and I know Doug has to leave, so I'm gonna
Doug, don't go, Doug.
Well, it's game day at the Brown family household, so we're going. Yes, you know, it's kind of amazing that not only ukulele player, magician, and card or board game geek, the fact that I found a lady at all, simply amazing. But yeah. Anyway, hey, it's been great talking to you, and I can't wait to listen to your podcast. That's going to be awesome. See y'all later.
All right, we'll see you. Thanks.
Bye, Doug.
Bye.
Bye, Doug.
All right, we're gonna have to keep on going. So another one that I'm going to switch gears here.
Okay.
All right, let's hop back to Hope.
Okay.
And I don't know. I'm going to try and type in.
I'll do it. I'll try and talk.
Type.
Yeah, I'll try and type.
All right. Expanding listenership. So you've got the podcast. You know, I want to, and where this is coming from, let's be transparent about it. I'd really like to maybe double the number of listeners just so that more people are getting to this podcast. I think it has a lot of content and a lot of good things. Not that it's the only thing. It's just one of the good things. How would you what are your suggestions here? So what are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I don't know.
Okay.
But also for us, it's been a lot about word of mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Word of mouth, spreading the info about our podcast. It's been really fun to go to conferences and go to different venues and festivals and stuff, and find people who've been listening. To find listeners in I'm bad for typer. Listeners at festivals and conferences, and
So do you think it's like through your network that it's been spreading?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been networking.
Yeah. So networking seems that's a good way to start, is that, you have you as a songwriter maybe have a network of songwriters, and then they all kind of spread word of mouth kind of thing. Yeah.
And we bring on special guests. So most of the time it's just me and Emily.
Yeah.
But then as touring songwriters are coming through, we invite friends of ours who we know are playing shows to join us on the podcast. And so then that brings their fan base over to us.
Yeah.
When they come through town.
Okay. Yeah. And that's one idea I had was to visit more ukulele groups. And here's the thing about it is I'm more of an introvert.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not like, let's woohoo road trip and let me meet as many people, that would be great.
Right.
And that's why it's great to have Doug, because Doug is more of that guy, I think.
Yeah.
Of the extrovert. He goes out and he talks about the OokTown podcast.
Look at the hats he wears, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. If the hats are any indication.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's a
Doug,
good
you love
indication.
your hats.
Yeah.
Doug,
I have an idea for you, Stuart.
Go ahead.
Well, a couple ideas, and I don't know if you've maybe done these before, but how about contacting any other ukulele festivals, all ukulele festivals everywhere, anywhere.
Yeah.
And they all make programs of a list of events throughout the weekend, a list of performers.
Yeah.
Contacting them and saying like, it would be hard to, hopefully they wouldn't ask for any sort of like financial thing, but just say, could I put just a one line at the bottom of the program or something that says like, have you heard the OokTown podcast?
Yeah.
With like a link. And just like, it doesn't have to be much, or even like maybe just making some stickers that have your website on that you send to festival organizers or other artists, being like, hey, can you pass some of these out? And then
and I would be glad
just
to
promoting it that way
and cross promotion. And it's like, hey, if you put my link on there, I would be glad to talk about your festival on my podcast, because that's
or could we interview some of your from your festival? Could we do an interview?
Oh yeah, I definitely. I love that. I have that relationship with Ben Hassinger and Mary Agnes Krell, and so that's super when I can get them.
Yeah, which we did.
That would be great. Yeah. So that would be.
But, there's Tampa and Reno and Palm Springs and Vancouver.
That's a great idea, and I think Ashokan. I would love to do Ashokan, but that's Gerald Ross. But I think they're pretty much out in the boonies. I don't think. Have you been to Ashokan, Victoria? I don't know how
it is.
They are.
I've been there. It's in kind of like mid-state New York.
Yeah, I think it looks
but
beautiful.
There's still attendees. And I think as long as I believe there's Wi-Fi connection. You could still do a podcast from there. But I think also like if you could, it would just take a little bit of planning. But say you could, have some stickers, just print up, have a bunch of stickers made. Because musicians love stickers and we love to stick them on everything. Cases, cases, computers, gear, cars, whatever. And so by just providing the stickers to the presenter and just being like, hey, can we schedule a podcast recording during your festival? They're going to hand out the stickers. People will tune in. They'll, and maybe it doesn't happen like immediately, but maybe they go home and then.
Yeah. That's I love that.
Tune in.
Yeah.
Okay. What is Doug doing here? Doug is sending me something, emailing me.
He's like, don't make fun of my hat.
No, he's sending me the links. Thank you, Doug. Because he's at game day over at the Brown family, which is so cool. I love that.
That's very cute.
That he's doing that. Is that a G&T also?
No, it's just a straight up water with lemon.
Okay, I was gonna feel like I'm left out because I feel like I'm the only one. I just have water here, so nothing.
Yeah, no, I think probably in Colorado where you are, I find that you really have to make an effort to drink a lot of water.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
because it's so dry. Yes.
It's so
But
dry.
I found I was drinking more just because I think I was just thirsty all the time because to not be dehydrated.
I think it's a couple of things because of the altitude and
The
because it's
altitude.
so dry. Yeah, and it is tough.
But here at kind of near the beach, I always have to kind of remind myself, like,
Oops.
drink a glass of water.
Oh, you're just killing us with
Drink more
so
water.
you're so near the beach. Oh, thanks.
Sorry.
All right, we're gonna go
Just
back
like
to
a mile away.
really a mile now. Wow. So you move closer to the beach, I guess, or something?
Now we're just like, well, we're at the riverbed, and there's a bike
Mhm.
path that goes right to the state beach.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
It's like
man,
a mile and a
cool.
half. Mile and
Yeah.
a half.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That is very awesome. Hope says that's awesome.
Hey, Stuart, ask her where she lives in Southern California.
Oh, where do you live? Where are you
Oh,
living
in
now?
Costa Mesa.
Okay, so you're still in Costa Mesa.
Yeah, we
It's-
moved
Hope is
just a
from-
block away from
I'm
where
from-
we were living before.
I grew up in Mission Viejo.
Oh, Mission Viejo is where Hope is from.
Oh, cool.
That's
Yeah.
nearby.
I was
Mission
just
Viejo,
there
really?
last night.
Oh, really?
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Beautiful sunset. Well, in Laguna Niguel, but we
Yeah.
was,
Pretty
Yeah.
much
Over
there.
there.
Yeah.
drove
Oh,
through
wow.
it.
Yeah, that's a big change, Hope, to go from Mission Viejo to Utica, Nebraska.
Yeah.
That's a change.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's we're almost all the way through here. Collaborations. So you guys kind of already talked a little bit about collaborations. So let's start off with Hope again. And you basically you and Emily.
Yeah.
Do you guys write together and what's your process?
No, we don't write together.
Okay.
I don't have a lot of experience doing collaboration. That's like a stretch goal for me, is to really get into co-writing, but it feels very vulnerable. It's not something that I've done a lot. I've done like 4 or 5 co-writes, and they've been good, and I like the work that I've done.
Yeah.
But I'm not in regular practice of co-writing. So every time I go into it, it feels like brand new, and I don't know how to navigate the situation.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the, not to say that this is the best way to do it, but the relationship like Elton John and Bernie Taupin were probably pretty nice because, Bernie Taupin Elton John had very little or no interest in lyrics, and Bernie Taupin kind of the same with music, right? So Bernie would write the lyrics, great lyrics. He was still is an amazing lyricist. And then Elton John would create these awesome melodies. So that's kind of a neat way to do it. Then you don't have to worry too much about the lyrics and vice versa, because you're not, it's like Bernie's like, I don't know much about music, and Elton John's like, I don't know much about lyrics.
Right.
So have you looked, do you know of anyone that's or would you trust anyone to write the music for you? Because I think you have some really great lyrics.
Oh, thank you. I don't think so. I don't think I would trust someone with the music. Because
you have ideas. Is it because you have ideas yourself that you want to do with them?
Because I think I have like a writer's voice, and my writer's voice is married like lyrics and music together.
Mm-hmm. So you have an idea of what you want to express through your voice also, because you're a singer.
Right. Yeah.
Too. And I think that's important. That's another reason why, because okay. All good. I get you. Well, let's go over to Victoria.
Yeah.
You kind of heard, hopefully you got the gist of what we're talking about.
Yes. Yeah. Luckily, Hope's been feeding me a couple lines here and there.
A little bit of that, right.
So if you're just tuning in, just know that I can only hear Stuart.
Right. If you're just joining us,
it was not on
hear
purpose.
Me at all.
I have not done this on purpose. This is the technical difficulty show.
And I've used this computer before. I've used this laptop before when I was down in San Diego when we did the podcast with Lucy Lemire. And I could hear everything just fine. So I have no idea.
And I have done nothing. Now, I have to admit, the only difference might be is that I did update to Mojave on my Mac, but I don't know why everyone else can hear me. That's the weird part.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
Because
anyway.
you're the master.
Yeah.
Because I'm the nexus. I am in control of nothing. All right. So tell us about your collaborations and how you collaborate.
Well, probably so I went to the Berklee College of Music in Boston and have a degree in songwriting. And so we did, probably in school, one of the assignments was to co-write a song, I'm sure, which was just one of the many lessons we learned in songwriting. But probably when I started doing it more was through a festival called the Steel Bridge Song Fest in Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin. And basically now
So
I know that one.
Oh,
have you
she's been there.
No, but
cool.
I have friends.
Oh, so she has friends there.
Okay. So basically, anywhere between 30 and 60 songwriters show up, and we play Spin the Bottle every night for groups of 3. Yeah. Josh Hardy. Yeah. And we spin the bottle, and then we write songs together. Sometimes they're inspired by an art piece or by the certain event or whatever theme that is chosen. And so we all kind of show up with this sense of like, okay, we're given an assignment. This is the spin. Let's write a song. And everyone is very, it's just kind of very work oriented. And it's a lot of fun, and it can be stressful at times too. And you sometimes have to be like, trust the spin, or just be like, oh man, this is my spin and this is not going good. Or you never know. You never know.
Which is like life.
And sometimes, when you have really, big expectations of just like, oh my God, this is like a power group and this is going to be awesome. Sometimes just like coming out, I feel that sometimes like saying like, oh, it has to be awesome. You've already kind of like ruined it,
right?
Because it's like it's like now you have this expectation of being something, and you can't just let it organically be whatever it is it's going to be, because it has to be awesome. So I feel like sometimes that can put a damper on the creative energy,
because you're
but then
put too much expectation on it.
But then there's other songs that so like people just be like 2 people that just happen to be free, and then someone's writing on something and they're like, oh yeah, like how about this, and then you end up just writing a song with someone you didn't spin with. Songs that are
there she is.
Okay.
Bridge.
Sorry, we lost you for a little bit. Oh, you're kind of freezing. Oh, there you go. You're back.
There she is.
You're back.
There, okay. I'm back. Freestyle. But I love a lot of the songs that I write at that festival, and even and some of them I don't know how I will ever release them or use them. I've done a few dark songs, which is around Halloween. And so there's just some really strange, weird, creepy, dark songs that I have. And so I don't know, do I release a Halloween album one day? I don't know. But I have one that actually...
Could you submit it for use on a movie or something?
Yeah, I mean, some of them are they're just different, and they're all kinds of different songs. And I've been performing this last Dark Songs I was at. 2 of the songs that I wrote that week, I actually perform them at my shows every now and then when I feel I'm just like, okay, are they ready for something new and different?
Right.
And so Jack and I are going to be releasing one of them on our new album coming up, which we're going to hopefully do a Kickstarter for soon, within the next month. But anyways, I don't know. I think that co-writing there's some things that I like obviously doing by myself, but then there's always something whenever I bring someone else in, even if it's at the end of like, this is what I wrote, letting someone have an opinion or like some sort of like criticism or just an outside ear. And then my husband also has a degree in songwriting, so I'll play stuff for him, and and it's I think it makes the song better the more people on it sometimes, because everyone's lending an ear and
it
a
really
lyrical
depends
idea.
on the person. people who can give really good constructive input is a gift. I know that
and it's hard, and it's a gift to take it.
it is, of course. That's the other part of it, of course. And it is, yeah, because it's so personal.
It's like your baby, and whenever I give feedback to like young artists, songwriting, I'm always just like I usually kind of feel the waters first of just like, do you want me to give you my honest opinion on this, or do you want me to tell you it's great? Or just do you want me to just encourage this, or do you want a technical analytical breakdown of your song and what could be better?
Well, and I think
I always
right?
thank them afterwards, just being like, thank you for being open and cool about it, because sometimes people don't want anything to do with any feedback, and that's fine. There's our song. Okay, fine.
That's okay too. Yeah, at the Wonderstruck, which Danielle Anderson and Victor and Penny, Aaron McGrain and Jeff Freeling do, it's about performance, and then they voluntarily, there's a part where you can volunteer to perform a song, and then with the intention that they'll give you feedback. And wow, their style of giving feedback is awesome. It's like always starts off, however they structure it, it just feels very supportive and very, you can always take it the wrong way. There's no doubt about it. However, I did that, and they gave me feedback, and it was like, wow, this is great. I love it. And I think they did a really good job with everyone. So yeah, it's an art form to give feedback like that.
Totally.
Yeah. All right. We are moving on in time. So I've actually had gone through most of the things, I think. Yeah, I did. I have a bonus one, which I did not send out because I wasn't sure. But before I go into that last topic, I want to, and it's a great one, so everyone stick around.
Okay.
No, you two have no choice. I'm talking about the other people on the.
Okay.
No,
I'm
just kidding. No. I wanted to just take a break and say thank you so much to Hope and Victoria. Hope, your latest one, is that still Three Black Crows? So tell us about what's going on and your.
Yeah, sure. Yep, Three Black Crows came out in 2017. I'm actually going into the studio twice this fall.
Ooh.
Once in November, once in December.
Where do you go to the studio?
This time I'm going to Nashville.
Wow.
For both records.
Really?
And I'm actually going to cut 2 records by the end of the year. So
what?
One's a folk record and one's a rock and roll record.
Oh, you're kidding.
No.
How do you know you're going to do that? That's not right, because oh, I know I'm going to go and cut 2 records. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And they're both in Nashville?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
2 separate producers, 2 separate studios.
Wow.
Yeah, it should be fun.
All right, cool. And then Prompt Queens, we'll put that one in there, right? Your podcast.
Prompt Queens comes out every Thursday.
Wow.
And the prompt for this next one, for coming up this Thursday, is sing along. So we had to write a song that could be a sing along.
Okay.
You don't give any instructions. You just sing it as if you were singing it during a show. And what kind of instructions would you give your audience?
Yeah.
That's all you get.
I love it.
It was really fun.
Yeah. I mean, I was just thinking, the first thing I think of is Brandy, because everyone knows Brandy and the chorus is so catchy.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. All right, cool. And touring, any touring coming up?
Yep. Back out in September.
Okay.
September and October are pretty full, and then kind of a break until the new year.
All right. September, October, because then the kids are in school. Is that right?
Kids are in school, and the holidays are really busy. So I just take a break.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's amazing that you can do all that with the family. So good on you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And thanks to Victoria for coming on with. So you're working on a new one, but your latest CD, other than that, is Colorful Heart still?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, I did also release the song I wrote for my dad that was written in the car. That's like as a single on streaming, whatever purchasing. But that song will be on the Jack and the Vox album that we're doing of 10 new songs as a duo.
Now you said Kickstarter, but have you already started it?
No, we've finished all of the levels and campaign information. We just have to do a video. So my mother's visiting, and we're gonna hopefully do a video this afternoon before he heads off to his gig, and will be live in the next day or two. So
nice. All right, we'll send the link
and
to that.
it's kind of a new. We decided to. What's that?
Send me the link to the Kickstarter once you.
Sure. Yeah, I would. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we decided we're kind of using the Kickstarter to upgrade our studio equipment so that we can do the album ourselves from our new home. But we have really big lofted ceilings in the living room. The acoustics are great, wood floors.
Oh, nice.
But we we just want to capture the way we sound when we sing together versus like tracking, and everything we've always done is tracking, and we are able to track, but we need 4 channels to go live, uke, guitar, 2 vocals. We did try last week putting both of our instruments through 1 amp, miking the amp, singing really close on 1 microphone, and we were just like, after like the 3rd try, I'm just like, this. It's like I'm bumping him with my uke neck. First he's bumping me with his guitar. Like it's like we can't get close enough, and it's like we're really having to work to be like, oh, I'm too loud, pull back. And so just to be able in mixing to have a little bit control of like, oh, like the uke got really quiet here, or we need to hear it more, or the vocal, and so we're just and I think that will kind of open up to a lot more making music in the future. So,
I think so. Have you ever heard of a guy? Have you guys heard of Rick Beato? He talks so much about when songs are tracked, not necessarily all together, but actually he does mean that when they're tracked more or less live, meaning that it may have had a click track at some point, but they're playing together as a band. And so he goes, here, let me give you an example, and he goes over Roundabout or some other really famous song, and he shows where the beats per minute just kept fluctuating like this. I think if you listen to especially on a really prime example of this would be The Police and Roxanne. I always said, it's really weird. It seems like things are changing in terms of the tempo, and sure enough, the tempo was like, but it made it. No one ever noticed that to the extent where it was never.
This real raw feeling, and you played it, because we're not robotic, we're not perfect, and we feel things, and so. But and I've done live band recordings as well. Like a lot of the stuff we recorded with Boulder Acoustic Society, almost a decade ago.
Were you recording with them? I didn't know that.
Yeah, we did an album in Denver. This was it was on my 2010 album called Exact Change. And we did a lot of tracking live. But, like we would be in studios, so they have the equipment to do that, to be like, okay, we've got 12 tracks live coming in, or the drums have 7 or 8 drums alone, or mics alone.
I know.
And then you've got, guitar and vocals. And so, so we're just kind of, I think it's a new sonic direction. What I see is for Jack and the Vox, so my husband's name is Jack. And when we perform together, that it is different from Victoria Vox and from Feed the Kitty. And basically we're working on a completely different repertoire. So it's either, people can hire Jack in the Vox, or they can hire Victoria Vox with Jack Maher, and it is totally different, like depending what you're wanting musically, stylistically, sonically, vibe-wise. We're just really creating something different from what we normally do.
Cool. Awesome. Well, it's great to have you back on the show.
Thank you.
And and your allergies in the Rockies prevented you from being on the podcast. So
Yeah,
I
I'm
figured
so sorry.
that is no worries.
I was saving everything up for this show.
Oh, absolutely. You're not there for the podcast. You're there for the performance. So I totally understand. Okay, so last one. This is the bonus round. Everyone ready for the bonus round?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna get a little bit deep. I sometimes do this. One of my favorite writers, people in general, is Carl Jung. He was a Swiss psychoanalyst.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I gave this away. I screwed this up already. Anyway,
You started with the punchline, huh?
Yeah, I did. That was so bad of me. Okay, here's a quote. We rush impetuously into novelty, driven by a mounting sense of insufficiency, dissatisfaction, and restlessness. We no longer live on what we have, but on promises, no longer in the light of the present day, but in the darkness of the future, which we expect will at last bring proper sunrise. We refuse to recognize that everything better is purchased at the price of something worse. That, for example, the hope of greater freedom is canceled out by increased enslavement to the state, not to speak of the terrible perils to which the most brilliant discoveries of science expose us. See, I screwed this up as I say. Now, does that sound like talking about today? And it does, except that this guy wrote this in his biography like 60 years ago, 50 years ago, no, over 50 years ago. Wow. I was like, wow, this is like really incredible. Now, so what does that have to do with ukulele? Is like, can we, you as songwriters, I think, have a special gift in that you spend the time alone sometimes in a car, but writing, right? Can we use the ukulele somehow to help us with this increasing pace of the world, the novelty of, and believe me, I've got all kinds of gear and crap all over the place. That's why I have a curtain behind me, because if you saw my place, you would see all the crap, but it's gadgets. I gotta tell you, I got a lot of gadgets and things. So, any thoughts on this in terms of what the ukulele can do to help us be in the moment, in the present? Let's start with Hope. Oh, did you see what I did right there, Hope? See,
No. Let's start with Hope.
Hope. Nice. Okay.
Good one.
Thank you. In lieu of Doug, I'm trying.
Yeah, you're doing a great job. Well, I mean, yesterday we were doing a ukulele workshop in an assisted living home in Plainview, Minnesota. And it was bringing music to a demographic that doesn't get a lot of visitors, doesn't get a lot of young people, doesn't get a lot of like energy that comes from music. And so yesterday I felt like we weren't just providing a hour of distraction for busy people. We were bringing kind of life into a place that doesn't have a lot of life to speak of. So that's important.
That is a great thing. So Victoria, Hope was talking about going to assisted living centers and playing there and bringing that kind of life and energy into there. I think that's a great way of doing it. It's also a great way of connecting with other people in that way.
And a teacher of mine, Mary Gaucher, I don't know if you have heard of her. She's not a ukulele player. She's just a singer-songwriter. But she always reminds us that musicians are in the service industry, that we're in the service industry. We're here to heal people. We're here to bring peace. We're here to bring connectedness and like recovery and recreation. And so it's not about us. It's not about look at me and be proud of what a great job I'm doing. It's my job is to get out of the way and let the music help who it needs to help.
Yeah.
And that's truer today than probably it's ever been. And so I think it's a really important job that we're doing.
Well, so now it's really resonating with me in terms of what you're saying, because the ukulele can be that connector, and that instrument, that way of, we don't all have to be singer-songwriters.
Right.
I just happen to know a lot of singer-songwriters, and I'm
right.
blessed to do that because all that creative energy. However, the ukulele itself is a way of maybe channeling that, but just if you pick it up and you play it and you strum it, you are creating things, and you're connecting to a bigger thing, and that's a way to slow down. Oh, cool. Well, thank you.
Yeah, like my mom and dad, who both retired in Mission Viejo, they go to the senior center, and every Wednesday there's a ukulele sing-along group.
Kidding.
And so it's 50 people in a room, and they're playing ukulele, and there's a lot of it's a lot of Hawaiian and Tin Pan Alley and stuff.
Yeah.
And there are hula dancers, women who come and hula during the
that is so cool.
songs, and it just brings so much joy and happiness to them. And they're singing from a songbook and having a great time.
Yeah, absolutely. That's very cool.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Victoria, I don't know if hopefully you caught some of that. But
no, I mean, I just see two little snippets. Sorry, I missed that out. I'm bummed, Hope.
So, well, you can listen to this later and you go, oh, that's what they're talking about.
Staring off into space.
Yeah.
All right. So we're talking about
Victoria was really out of it.
How the the pace of life and our attachment or fascination or wish that these things of technology will bring us promise, and we miss the present and the moment, I guess, is what Jung was talking about. That's what I see. So how can the ukulele help us out, as we were talking about? And Hope was talking about, going over to the assisted living center and connecting there. And that also another really cool thing is saying that we as musicians are really in the service industry, because we're in the service of other people to bring them this gift, this music and this connectedness. And I thought that was really, really great too. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think in just music in general, it's another language. I kind of think of that movie Arrival.
Oh yeah.
It was the 12 massive egg-shaped things went all over the world, but there was this other language, and it was timeless and not linear, and but it's not quite as deep as that. But
I love that movie.
I think it's
I won't give away the spoiler, but that is a great sharing.
Yeah, but I think just playing music with other people, it kind of you have to be present to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be talking on the phone with someone when you're trying to play with the group or trying to write an email. It's just you really, it forces you to be in the moment. And I think
that's very true.
That's why I enjoy performing so much, is that it's there's nothing else going on at that time for me, or just there's no distractions other than what's happening in the room or something. But then just being present with the people who are there, and that we have this thing, and it's a special evening. But I don't know. I think just music in general is a great tool for relaxation and self-expression, and getting those feelings out, and maybe understanding someone else's feelings, or maybe to be able to put yourself in someone else's shoes through lyrics of a song, where you might grow more understanding to someone else and their feelings. And I think I feel I struggle with it of just, I'm pretty, as a Libra, I'm pretty diplomatic when it really comes down to I'm always kind of the devil's advocate, where I'd stick up for whoever they I'd be like, well, but maybe they had a really bad day, and maybe they were just, in a really bad mood or really hungry, or, like,
we don't know what they're.
But we don't always know everything that's going on, and and so I feel like, music is it can help with compassion.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been probably more recently just really in general turned off by social media.
Mm-hmm.
And haven't it's like a chore for me to post something, and that was not the case when I first started Twitter in 2007 and Instagram in 2011. And now I feel like, okay, 8 years of my life I've been posting and putting out there, and it's just like, as far as personally, like when I'm looking for a photo, there is no organization of it, of just like, I got to find that photo from the da 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 da, and then I'm like scrolling. Like there's no like no organizational method to Instagram other than
it was
try to find it.
I think it was meant because it was mainly meant not to service you, but to create traffic so that they can, hey, that's what they're doing. But
I feel like it's also very narcissistic.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a increasingly hard time with that. And I go to people's pages, and it's like photographs of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
50 photographs, like one after one after one, and like video of me, and look at me, and look at my great life. But I feel it can be really not true to reality, because you are, it's as much as like a camera angle. Like I look so great, because I put the camera this way, and I can control the lighting. So it's like something that you have to control out of, to put out in the world, that maybe other people don't, that it just makes other people feel bad, or feel that they don't have enough, or that they don't.
They have
so I don't know. It's like
they had a something about this syndrome, because it's like, the people who are on the social media sometimes are showing one aspect of it, and that is just one aspect of their life and life in general, and it's not always peaches and cream. It's just like, okay, well, but if you're only showing that slice, because it is hard to share the difficult moments, especially when there's trolls out there ready to jump on anything, which is just like, come on, people, we need to be a little more supportive of it, and
but then also I feel like, that it, in some ways, it removes us from being present. Like, like last night, the sunset was incredible. Mm-hmm. And I took a picture, but I took a picture.
Right.
I didn't post it until today. I was just like, I should really post something. I'll post a picture of the sunset, no filter. But it was just like, had I done that, it would have taken my eyes off of the sunset and from the community of people that I was with, to go on my Instagram account and post.
Right. And so that's the part is,
I just kind of feel like there's like oversharing,
mm-hmm.
And it, for what purpose, it's just kind of like, what is the purpose, and what
I think you can do both, right? You can, I think posting that photo later on was great, because then you shared that moment. And what you didn't do is you didn't do it right then, because then it would have distracted you from the people you were with or the moment, right? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I still think it's worthwhile to share that moment later on.
I think people enjoy it, and that's why you have followers, is because they're interested in what you're doing.
But I think the fallacy that we run into, or the difficulty, is that a lot of people want it instantaneous. I want to be part of it right now while you're doing it. It's like, well, what if we do that a little later on? Is that okay too? Because I'm one of those that I can't do that. It's like, I take pictures, and then I remember, oh yeah, maybe I should post this later on. It's like 2 weeks or a month.
Sometimes it's like, well,
it's like, is anyone still interested?
Do it now.
Yeah.
Right.
Then you're kind of, defeating, again, staying out of the moment.
but then maybe that's a thing of just like, don't post right away. And then when you look through those photos and choose what photo you want to post, and maybe like say something about that photo or a memory or some sort of connection to, like who you are, and, kind of make them like little journal entries or thoughts or feelings.
Right.
I don't know what my point is.
I'm with you, and I don't know if that's kind of boring. If you want to look on my Instagram, I had a whole Instagram series on building this amplifier, and it was part of it was a remembrance of what my dad did when we were growing up. He would disappear into a room, and it's like, what the heck is going on? And it turns out he came out one day. It was like magic, and he had this thing in his hand, and it was a stereo amplifier, a tube stereo amplifier. And, it was like listening to it was like a revelation. I'm like, whoa, that kind of music. And I was, later on when he let us play music on it, I was playing all kinds of albums, and I was just like, this is incredible.
Wow.
So that was a remembrance of him, but it's, I don't know. It wasn't in the moment. It wasn't while I was doing it. It was like a week or two at least after I did it. I don't know if that's still. Anyway, so
yeah, I don't know, but then like I follow Scott McCormick, who did the logo for the Denver Uke Fest, and occasionally he gets on there and like does stories, and like he'll be kind of like talking through ideas he has for like an album cover or some photo shoot he's doing, and it's really fascinating to hear about. So I don't know. It's mixed.
Well, but is he
but I guess as somebody who doesn't have children or animals or pets, like the baby pictures and the dog, whatever, was like.
Well, let's ask Hope, because I think she has a family here. Do you have an Instagram account, Hope?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'll follow you then.
Okay.
You don't have to follow me, because I don't know if you'd be really interested in it.
Well, my Instagram's not very interesting, but.
Don't worry, neither is mine. So it's a perfect match. My Instagram's not very interesting.
No.
Okay.
I'm just writing, it's not very interesting.
You just have to do it for you, Stuart. If you like it and you think it's interesting, that's all. That's right.
Yeah, totally.
All right.
It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks, because we all got opinions.
Yeah,
that's good. All right. Well, let's
and
wrap
I do
this
like
up.
all my friends' pictures with babies. I love them all. I little hearts every time.
Oh yeah, and Sarah Mizell is always cute when she's out over at her nieces or nephews or whoever, and showing pictures of them. That's always awesome too. I love that. She's there. There are certain people that are good at this for the social media age, and that is great. I'm just probably not one of them. All right. Well, let's wrap this up. It's been great. And you've hung in there, Victoria. So thanks very much. Let me check in here with Hope, because it's been great. I haven't, it's been, I don't know when was the last time we had you on. That was a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. We'll get you on.
The Gear podcast.
Right.
No, that was like 2 or 3 ago. That was a while ago, the Gear one.
Okay. Did I have you on after that? That would have been good.
It was the British. Was it the Dutch?
Oh, was it with Zoe?
Was it the Dutch boat guy last year?
Oh, really? Right. Yeah. Oh, that's neat. Yeah, that was really cool, right?
What was his name?
He's a British guy, but yeah.
British.
He lives on a boat, and
British boat guy.
That is so cool, being able to do that. I don't know how that British boat guy, yes.
He lives on a river barge or something.
Yeah. Lived on a river barge and a river boat or whatever, and
he did flamenco ukulele, right?
Right,
or something like that.
Yeah, the Django Reinhardt kind of.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Okay. I had forgotten about that. Well, good. Yeah. All right, so I don't feel as bad, but we did have you on the show after that, or more recently than I thought, and that's great. But we'll have you back on the show more.
Thank you.
Good luck. So best of luck with the prompt queens. I think that's great. By the way, where did you come up with the logo with that? How did you? Because it looks somewhat sinister.
It is. Let me see if I can find one.
Yeah. We're gonna have Hope if she can get the prompt queens. You need to look it up.
I don't think I've got one. Yeah, prompt queens.
Anyway, it looks a little bit sinister. What was that about? Now, why did you choose that? Was it just a fun thing because it was?
Yeah, we thought it would be funny to have like a Halloween type font.
Yes, the Halloween
with
font.
like a monarch's crown.
Okay, well that I can get because that's the queen part.
Yeah, and then we thought it would be that's it.
No, it was good. It's inspired. I like it. Well, so you got the Prompt Queens podcast. And you've got the you're going to be going into the studio soon. Mm-hmm. Very good.
Doing a Kickstarter also, launching my Kickstarter.
Great.
So
do you have that link yet?
No, it's going to be maybe a month before the Kickstarter comes out.
Well, if you remind me, I'll do a shout out. And same with you, Victoria. If you don't have the link right away, I can always do a shout out later on. Yeah. So you guys can get some Kickstarters.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting experiment, to see if spaghetti sticks.
Yeah.
No, project because it's different. I've done. Sorry?
Yeah. So because you've done Kickstarters before, haven't you?
I've done Kickstarters, yeah, but this is a first for Jack in the Box, which is we're kind of pulling from our both friends and family and friends, but and I think it will work.
I would think so. It seems like
there'd
be synergy there.
Like it's kind of like an unknown, and like it's really new for us. It's new material. It's different material. It's we're hoping to create something so we can make more music together and perform tours together. And
very cool.
So but yeah, so I don't know, it's a little scary for me, I think, but
I think that's okay. Scary could be good.
Yeah.
And you've got your so you've got that coming up, and you've got a incredible also jam-packed tour schedule, so everyone can visit your webpage and see that, because I think you're going to Idaho next.
Yep, right? I leave tomorrow for Idaho. I'm driving with my mother, and then I'll be in Idaho for 2 dates, and then we drive to Wisconsin for like 5 shows. I'm doing a couple benefit shows. We're having my grandmother's funeral. And then I fly back here for 2 days, and then go to the Prague Uke Fest. So,
God.
For July, I'm home for 2 days.
Jeez.
2 days in July.
Oh my gosh.
Hope says, "Oh my gosh!"
And I'm sure all my plants are going to die.
That's where you need the automatic watering system.
That's
I'm creating that right now. Right, they have a bunch of them. So if you ever want to do that, you just.
And there's like a thing where you put water in a wine.
Oh yeah, in the yeah. No, this one's going to be more electronic, where it has a little moisture sensor, and then it has a big reservoir. So the biggest thing is that you have to have a water reservoir. So someone still has to come and fill up the water reservoir. They just don't have to water the plants. This little system will do it for you.
So you got like little tubes going all over the house.
Yeah, there's a big reservoir and these sensors, and then
cool.
So your plants are all over the house. Okay, well that's going to be
bring them all to one area.
Bring them all into one area. And
table.
All right, well, awesome. Enjoy the touring, and thank you so much for being on the show. I'm sorry you couldn't hear. You're going to have to listen to the podcast again.
The technical difficulties.
Yeah, and I'm still unclear on which title. It's either going to be technical difficulty or a little turbulence. I don't know which one is. I kind of like a little turbulence because it kind of gives gives a hint of what we're talking about, but then when you start listening to the podcast, you understand why that is probably a lot of turbulence. So it was oh my gosh, it was like Yeah.
that bad?
Oh, well, no, it was great.
No, it was great.
It worked out.
It did.
It worked out.
No, it was. It's all in the perspective. So I'm going to go with a little turbulence. How's that? So
Yeah, there you go.
hope you get the prize this time. Usually it's Doug.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, you were up against tough competition. Those of you who have been following the show for a while know that Doug, generally speaking, gets the prize for the naming the podcast episode.
Oh,
did you know about that?
No.
Oh, anyway, if we totaled it up one year, and Doug by far had like 60 or 70% of the titles, and so you today have defeated Doug.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So please help me out, and as we do on all the shows, on 3, let's all say aloha. You guys ready?
Ready.
Willing? Able? All right.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3.
Aloha.
All right. Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Stuart. This is fun.